Hi, it's Gav, and I'm reviewing Dark Shadows. Dark Shadows, the new Tim Burton, of course, Johnny Depp film based on a gothic soap opera television series that was in the late 60s. I'm glad to say a bit before my time. I'm not familiar with the source material particularly, so I cannot compare the film to it. I'll just talk about it as a film unto itself. The story is of a family that goes way back, and let's say 200 years back, where the character Barnabas, Johnny Depp's character, is turned into a vampire because of spurning the love of a witch who is a servant of the family's, and he gets buried and then unearthed 200 years later, which would see us in the early 1970s, at which point he seeks out his current family members who are in the same estate, not as stately as it once was, fallen into hard times because the family business, which is the fisheries business, has fallen into hard times. And so he sets about to acquaint himself somewhat with his family, get reinstated in his place at the head of the table, and to fix up the family dealings, the family business. Of course, the witch is still around and after him, and perhaps he's going to find love in another form. In his current form and in the 70s, is love possible? And I have to say the story just doesn't have that unique factor. I'm sure there was a lot more novelty to a family consisting of vampires and maybe of some other things at the time in the late 60s. Of course, we've seen a lot of vampire stories on the current entertainment landscape, and it does do a disservice to reintroducing or reinventing this particular story. It just doesn't have that twist or that bite that it could have or maybe did back then. Let's call a spade, and that does do a disservice to this. And so that unique factor, you just don't feel it. And so the creativity that Burton could have or should have brought to this, again, I didn't feel just rose to the occasion, and it did not deliver. There was some very nice gothic visuals, of course, as Burton can do in his sleep, and with Depp, but beyond that, well, Depp was really everything there was going for this. Depp brought it. He visually really suits the fish out of water vampire, if that's a particular role. He does it well. He did it well, and I liked his delivery of certain funny lines. Again, the fish out of water part was what I really liked. It reminded me a bit actually of Thor, the movie Thor, when Thor comes to Earth and is like, what's going on? You mortals are so strange. There's a lot of that, and that was indeed the part I enjoyed the most. The storyline being the weakest, and the visuals, the artistic treatment of Burton, sort of giving it nice window dressing, but nothing above that. So this is really Johnny Depp's film. I enjoyed his role, but is it one of his? Is it a classic? No. It's typical in many ways of the Depp-Burton collaboration, and of the tongue-in-cheek vampire genre, if that's a subgenre now of the vampire stories. Nothing special. I give it 3 Gav. Thanks for watching.